just a dream? What if all this was designed just to see how we react?
What if this place is trying to torture me?
What if the people these monsters are killing, what if they're all in on it?
What if this is all some kind of fucked up experiment?
What if the answers are out there, maybe we just didn't go out far enough?
I'm sorry. I really am. This is the only way.
And welcome welcome all to another edition of the Fromville Hour. And tonight we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun tonight as some awesome new information has just been making the rounds over the last, really just today. I only just found out about it this morning. So we're going to dive into it a little bit. And I cannot wait to hear what everybody has to say because the Season 3 episode titles of From have officially been revealed on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, granted, sometimes Rotten Tomatoes isn't always 100% accurate when it comes to episode titles, but we're going to take a look at some of these and see if we can discern what some of these episodes might indeed be about as we get closer and closer to the third season of From. I can't wait, guys. It's just, I mean, we're getting closer and closer now. It feels so awesome getting back into Fromville mode, diving back into this rich and awesome world with all of these mysterious and just very intriguing storylines and characters. I cannot wait, and I know you guys are excited as well. Here we go, peeps. From Season 3 is getting closer and closer. So yeah, tonight we're going to hang out, have some fun, talk some Season 3 predictions. Definitely want to hear from you guys in the chat, and we will definitely take a look at some of these episode titles. But first, yeah, man, look at this. Look at this. I love when we see some new photos that are released that go all the way back to Season 1. And I'm sure some of you might recognize this monster right here. This was indeed the monster who took out Father Cautry in Season 1. Episode 6 or 7, Colony House Massacre. One of my favorite episodes of all time. It was just a phenomenal episode, not just because of the action that we get in the Colony House Massacre, but that episode in particular weaves a very good storyline pertaining to Father Cautry in particular. So I'm really big fan of that episode. And you guys know how I feel about Father Cautry's send-off. That was just one of the best executed death scenes on a show I've seen in a very long time. But here is the culprit who took out Father Cautry. And I've been wondering, it also looks a lot like the very same monster who might have taken out Tom the bartender as well. So this one might have a couple notches on her belt. This one might have a couple notches on her belt. But welcome one, welcome all again. So glad to have everybody here. We're going to dive into things tonight. But first, we got to say what is up to the awesome chat. And of course, we are going to be talking a little bit about these weird, mysterious totems that have been popping up in the Season 3 trailer. And I think all of us are dying to know what these little things are, what they are going to represent. I mean, there's been some very interesting theories surrounding them up until now in terms of them being some other form of talisman, some other form of protection, which I think those could very well be likely. So we're going to dive into a couple things tonight together. But yeah, welcome one. Welcome all. Let me say what is up to the awesome chat we have assembled here this evening. We got Kiwi Skirt. What is up, Kiwi? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. We got Creators Outlet in the house. What is up, Creators Outlet? Hail, nerds. What is up to all of the nerds? All the nerds are welcome here. You know that. nerds, jocks, we take them all. We turn nobody away. We got the Flying Kitten in the house. What is up, Flying Kitten? Good to see you as well. We got Ando in the building. What is up, Ando? So glad to see you diving into From, my friend. So glad to see it. We got Bill D in the house. What is up, Bill D? It is good to see you as well. We got South London Reseller. What is up, South London? Always good to see some South London in the building. We got Dr. Deb in the house. What is up, Dr. Deb? Welcome, welcome. I see Greek Girls in the house as well. What is up, Greek Girl? Welcome, welcome. So glad to see some of my House of the Dragon people have been diving into From lately, and that is so awesome to see. So awesome to see. We got BK in the house. What is up, BK? Good to see you. I don't think those are technically totems. Well, we don't really know what they are yet, really, but it seems like the entire fandom has been referring to them as totems. So until we learn a little bit more about them, just for to identify them, totems just seems a little easier to refer to them as, because it seems like that's been what has been going around. And they could very well be totems. I mean, we have no idea what they are, but they very well could be totems. We got Bill D in the house. What is up, Bill D? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyone who has not joined the Discord or anyone who is in the Discord, definitely get over to our From Season 3 channel and check out Bill D's outline for Season 3. He's been writing a incredibly long and extensive outline for some of his theories as to where Season 3 will go, and it's complete with synopsis, outlines, dialogue. I mean, he's really, really going extensive with it, and definitely deserves a read. And I know Bill's going to get me a kind of condensed version of it, and we're going to dive into that as soon as he has it ready. No time, no rush, Bill. Take your time. But whenever that is ready, we are definitely going to dive into that here on the show, because I'm looking forward to diving into some of Bill D's theories. He's been writing, again, an extensive outline on Season 3. And definitely check it out in the Discord if you guys haven't already. Definitely check it out. We got Golden Child. What is up, Golden Child? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Vic in the building. What is up, Vic? Awesome to see you here this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see everybody here. Got Carrie in the house. What is up, Carrie? Good to see you as well. It's awesome to see all the Fromily people returning. I love it. I love it. From is definitely my favorite show right now. I do still love House of the Dragon, even though it had a very rocky Season 2, to say the least. Really a rocky second half of Season 2. The first half of Season 2 was pretty good. But From, it just hits on another level for me. Maybe it's because it doesn't have source material and it's just completely new and original storytelling. But something about From just, man, it's gets me excited. I'm pumped. I cannot wait to dive back into From. Season 3 cannot get here soon enough. Cannot get here soon enough. We got Julie in the house. What is up, Julie? Good to see you. Yes, we got the episode titles, guys. Much to discuss. Indeed. And that is always awesome. That's one thing about these kind of shows, especially a show like From. It's always very beneficial to keep an eye on things like IMDb, the official From IMDb page, or the official From Rotten Tomatoes page. Every once in a while, sometimes information will be uploaded there before anywhere else. Things like episode titles, episode synopsis, and things like that. New stills from the episodes. Sometimes you'll find them on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb before you'll find them anywhere else. So yeah, for any From fans out there, definitely it pays to frequently check the Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb pages. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to find. Like some good old episode titles. We got Susan in the house. What is up, Susan? Good to see you as well. We got Tyler B in the building. What is up, Tyler B? Good to see you as well, my friend. We got From Enthusiast in the building. What is up, From Enthusiast? Right place, right time. Very well met. We got Robert Saunders in the house as well. What is up, Robert? Good to see you, my friend. Robert also wrote out a very awesome, extensive Season 3 outline that you guys can also find in the Discord as well. And we're going to get to the rest of those Season 3 outlines for sure. Next week, we'll probably dive into the rest of those. If not this Saturday, then definitely next Wednesday, 1 week from now, we will dive into the rest of the Season 3 outlines. There's some really good stuff there. Really, really good stuff there. But welcome, 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 Petra. Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Hope everybody is doing well this evening, or at least a little bit better than I'm doing. That's for sure. Can't shake this stomach ache, but we are going to push through it nonetheless. We got Strega in house. What is up, Strega? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad that you guys have been diving into From. It really is. Again, I know I must say it a lot, but it is so awesome to see all of the House of the Dragon people that have been diving into From lately. I'm super pumped about that. Super pumped. We got Sean M in the building. What is up, Sean? Good to see you as well. We got the Grumbledore in the house. What is up, Grumbledore? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well this evening. Hope everybody has been having a good start to their week. Wednesday is officially here. Hump day, the middle of the week is here. Halfway down, Friday is within sight. TGIF is within sight. So we're going to cruise. We got Justin White in the house. What is up, Justin? She is also the one who attacked Christy in her dream, that creature. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that one is, as soon as I saw that picture, I thought, I know I've seen this monster in more than one place. Yes, obviously, it's definitely the one that took out Father Cautry. But I instantly kind of got flashbacks to Tom, the bartender's death, when they were kind of stuck under the house at the beginning of season 2. Looks like this is if not the same, a very similar monster that took out Tom as well. So yeah, again, this one might have a few kills. This one might have a few kills on her belt. Might have a few kills. Got Nikki in the house. What is up, Nikki? Good to see you as always. Got Too Tall in the building. What is up, Too Tall? Always good to see you. Always good to see you guys. We've got Ray Barnes is in the house. Always good to see Ray Barnes. I haven't seen Ray Barnes in a while, but Ray Barnes never disappoints, demanding the season 3 Titays. And hopefully they can deliver. Hopefully they can deliver. Ray Barnes wants his Titays. And by God, Ray Barnes is going to get him. Ray Barnes is going to get him. We got Choco in the house. What is up? Good to see you. Beauty 8. Hey, Fromily. What is up to the Fromily? I hope everybody, again, is doing swell. Hope you guys are having a very good week. And hope you guys are ready to dive into some Fromville. You know what I say? Throw on that tinfoil hat. Dive into that rabbit hole. And have fun with it. That's what this show is for, to have fun with. To have fun with. Discord link, yes, actually I can pin, I believe Kiwi Skirt did post the Discord link. So I can probably pin it to the top of the chat. Whoops, let's see here. Pin message, yes. The Discord link is pinned to the top of the chat. So if anybody does want to join the Discord, just refresh your live chat and you should see it right at the top there. And that should take you right to our Discord. And Kiwi just dropped it in there again. Thank you so much, Kiwi. Again, I got to put Kiwi on the payroll at some point. Once this channel's making enough money, Kiwi's going to be the first one that gets a paycheck. That is for sure. All the work that Kiwi does, very, very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. But welcome, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. If I missed anybody, I am terribly sorry. I do see Doc Hayes down there at the bottom. My good pal, Doc. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I see my bud Snuggy in the house as well. What is up, Snuggy? My season 3 outline is pretty short. It's aliens. Snug is not giving it up. Snug is not giving up the alien train. And he shouldn't. I mean, you believe in something, you should stick by it, I say. And who knows? You might be right. You might just end up being right. We got John in the house. What is up, John? Good to see you as well. We got CJ. This is where it's at. What is up, CJ? Good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Jay Reddy in the house. What is up, Jay Reddy? I really hope when we find out what's going on, there's an extremely good reason why the boy in white didn't just tell Victor or someone what the heck was going on, and why and how and where they at. I hope. And that is one of those things where, I mean, especially when it comes to the boy in white, you know, he knows a ton that he clearly hasn't revealed yet. Obviously, when he pushes Tabitha out of that window, he says, I'm sorry, but this is the only way. So, you know, it stands to reason the boy in white probably knew that he was sending Tabitha back into the real world or wherever she ended up. So yeah, hopefully when we start getting some answers, we can learn a little bit more about this boy in white, some of his methods, some of his motives, what exactly is his true goal. I mean, is he on the side of good? Is he on the side of evil? Or does he just have his own agenda entirely? It's a lot of questions surrounding the boy in white. Lot of questions surrounding the boy in white. But speaking of answers, one thing we do know, heading into season 3, we've been getting some very intriguing and very exciting statements from some of the writers and creators of From, in particular the creator and head writer John Griffin, who has stated that in season 3, the quote-unquote true nature of the town will come into focus. Now, whatever that means, I don't know, but hopefully it looks like we're going to learn a little bit more about what this place is, maybe how it came to be, and maybe what its true purpose is. But if the true nature of the town is going to get revealed, looks like we got some answers coming, guys. Looks like we got some answers coming. Got Flying Kitten in the house. What is up, Flying Kitten? Good to see you. Get better, bro. Remember, no one can have fried chicken and all that delicious stuff every day. They can't. They can't. And I might be living proof of that. You might be right. You might be right, Flying Kitten. But now you got me hungry. I haven't had fried chicken in forever, man. I kind of want to dip on over to KFC or Popeyes now. But alas, I shall resist. I shall resist. The box is dark and full of terrors. Yes, it is. It is. And I wonder if we'll see the box get used again. The box was very kind of prominent in season 1 in particular. Of course, we saw Frank kind of put himself into the box. But since then, we haven't really seen the box get utilized a whole lot. Yes, Kenny threatened to throw Sarah into the box when he found out about her hand in killing his father or letting his father get killed. But yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of box action since then. I wonder if the box will kind of come back with a vengeance at some point. I wonder. I'm sure it will. I'm sure we haven't seen the end of the old box. Sure, we have not seen the end of the old box. We're going to be surprised when E.T. runs across the screen eating Reese's Pieces. That would make for quite a shock, if nothing else, Tyler. You're absolutely right. It definitely would make for quite a shock. For sure. For sure. Good stuff. And yes, Father Cautry talked Boyd into using the box. And that's the thing about Father Cautry. And I mean, every time him and Boyd have those kind of heart-to-hearts, it's always some of the most compelling dialogue in the entire series, whether it's Father Cautry when he was still alive in season 1, or whether it was the kind of dead Father Cautry that returned in season 2, if it was even really Father Cautry, which still remains to be seen. It could have just been the entity screwing with Boyd. But yeah, they've always had some very interesting conversations between Father Cautry and Boyd, where Boyd kind of comes to Father Cautry probably hoping that he's going to talk him out of putting Frank in the box. And Father Cautry is like, no, you got to throw him in that box. What is the whole town going to do when they find out that you built a guillotine in the town square, but you lack the conviction to use it? So that was a very interesting scene. I definitely get the feeling Boyd was going to Father Cautry to talk him out of it, and he got the exact opposite advice, which was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Let's see what else we got. Can someone explain why Victor says Eloise told him that their mother went to the lighthouse the night the bad stuff happened? I thought Eloise escaped through the tree. Has this been answered? The show hasn't outright answered any of this yet. The only thing I can think of is, yes, we see Eloise dip and leave out of the root cellar not long after the mother takes off. My only guess can be this was a conversation that happened maybe the day before or hours prior, where either Eloise maybe overheard the mother or Eloise knew the mother's plan and conveyed it to Victor ahead of time. But in terms of what exactly went on there, we still don't know. There's so much about all that information that is just very ambiguous, including how exactly Victor and Eloise's mother knew all of the information that she knew to begin with. How did she even know about the lighthouse? How did she know about the Ankui children? How did she know that the lighthouse was potentially a way out? So many unanswered questions in terms of how Victor's mother received any of that intel. I mean, obviously there could be some, circumstances similar to what Sarah is going through, where maybe Victor's mother was one of those people who was kind of tuned into the kind of supernatural side of things a little bit more than others, which we have seen on the show up until this point. We hear Fatima talking to Elgin in season 2, explaining that very thing, where she explains it how some people are just affected in different ways by this place. And I definitely think that it's just some people are just a little bit more in tuned to that kind of supernatural side of things than others, which is why Sarah can hear the voices and nobody else can, which is why, of course, Elgin is having all of these weird dreams and premonitions when not everybody else is. So it seems like some characters are a little bit more tuned in than others. And maybe Victor's mother was one of these characters. Maybe she was receiving visions of her own, messages of her own. Maybe that's how she found out about all of this craziness to begin with. But yeah, still so much unanswered questions in terms of how characters are finding out the things that they're finding out. But yeah, cannot wait for answers either way. So hyped for the 22nd. I am as well. I am super, super pumped. But let's dive into some of these episode titles real quick before we do anything else, because I definitely want to get everybody's opinion on some of these. I breezed through them really quick, and I definitely will be doing a much more in-depth video breaking down some of these episode titles and where I think the season might be going based on the episode titles. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm going to try and get that video up on the channel. If not tomorrow, then Friday the latest. But for now, I figured, why wait until then? Let's dive into some of these things on a live stream and see what we can see from some of these episode titles. So let me pull this up here. Let's take a look at the good old Rotten Tomatoes. Good old Rotten Tomatoes. And let's see what we can see. Let's see what we can see about Season 3, ladies and gents. Let's see what we can see. Now, while we wait for this to pop up, it looks like episode 1 is titled When We Go. Now, of course, we don't have any of the synopsis for any of the episodes. Those haven't been loaded up yet, so we don't really have in-depth details. But again, we at least have some of the episode titles, so we can at least dive into some of this stuff. And based off some of the stuff that we've seen in the trailer, I get the feeling maybe we can try to piece together when we might see certain scenes. Like episode 2, for instance, Mousetrap. It stands to reason that Mousetrap will most likely probably be the episode where we see someone get their foot caught in the bear trap. We see that happen in the latest trailer. Someone is running through the snow. They clearly get one of their legs trapped into one of the bear traps. A lot of people seem to think that might be Christy based on the clothing, which it very well could be. So I get the feeling, yes, we're not going to learn a whole lot, but we might learn a little bit about where Season 3 might potentially be going with some of these episode titles. But episode 1 is titled When We Go. Not really much to glean from that one in particular, but when we go as opposed to where we go could potentially be talking about some kind of time aspect. I know a lot of people have been wondering what is going on with Tabitha. Is she in the real world? Is she in some second part of Fromville? If she is in the real world, is she in her current day timeline? Is she in the past, in the future? There's been a lot of very interesting thoughts and theories going around. And when I hear when we go, not where we go, it kind of, in my mind anyway, it kind of pops up like it's time related. But would love to get everybody's opinion on that. Do you guys have, what pops up into your mind when you think of Season 3, Episode 1, entitled When We Go? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Could the episode 1 title be a reference to Jade's quote to Tien Chen about deceased loved ones? They come with you when you go. Just, yes, Julie. Abso-freaking-lutely. I didn't even think about that. I did not even have a chance to think about that yet. See, I haven't dived into these too deep yet. I kind of just glanced at them. But now that you mention that, abso-freaking-lutely. It kind of almost fits like a glove now that I think about it, when we go. And that was very prevalent at the end of Season 1. That was one of the first times we really got to see a different side to Jade. A little bit more of the compassionate side, a little bit more of the humanity side to Jade, because Jade was kind of all piss and vinegar when he first showed up. I mean, we all know him, we all love him, and this will forever be one of my favorite clips of Jade.
All right, ding-dongs, it's almost go time. Anybody fucks this up, you spend a night in the box.
But yeah, in that scene when he and Tien Chen are talking, and even though, Tien Chen doesn't speak or probably understand a whole lot of English, you could really tell that those two were communicating flawlessly in that moment. That Tien Chen kind of knew exactly what Jade was saying in that moment. And it was a very heartfelt moment. And again, it's one of those first times that you really kind of see the human side of Jade, the compassionate side of him, which he very much does have. I know he kind of masks it a lot with his kind of bravado. But Jade is human at the end of the day, and he does care, I think. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that as his character arc continues to evolve and develop. I do think we are going to see that Jade is probably one of the most caring people in the town, actually. But yeah, when we go, Julie, I like it. I like that. Yes, that's now that you mention that, I think that fits absolutely perfect. And there has been a lot of questions as to whether or not Tien Chen is going to make it. A lot of people seem to think Tien Chen might be the body that is actually in the cart that Boyd and Jade are pulling. And who knows, maybe this leans a little bit more into that even. Maybe Tien Chen might be on the chopping block in that first episode, and maybe this is kind of Jade's parting gift to her, that when you go, they go with you. So I like that, Julie. I like that. That's a good one. That is a good one. I must say, I really like that. Dale is Donna's husband in real life, says Grumbledore. Yeah, that's awesome. I remember I found out that during, I believe, season 1, and I just thought, oh, this is perfect. I mean, especially when you get to that scene where Donna gets to kind of deck him and just lay him out right after he's, said some asshole things. That must be so fun going to work every day, with your spouse, working on a show like this. That is probably just so freaking fun. I can only imagine the fun those two have on set. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got. It makes me think of the movie The Others, says the Flying Kitten. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I just hope episode 1 isn't all tabby, says Tyler B. And I've been wondering about that, and I know we've kind of talked a little bit about this in the past, but if we look at season 2 and where season 2 started, well, actually, when we look back at the end of season 1 and we see Boyd and Sarah both go into the faraway tree, we don't really know where Sarah ends up. Yes, season 1 ends and we see Boyd is trapped in that shaft, but we don't really know where the faraway tree took Sarah. And then season 2 starts. A lot of us are wondering, okay, where the heck is Sarah? Where did the tree take her? We don't even see Sarah until the 4th episode in season 2. Like, they really let that hang a little bit. They did not answer where Sarah ended up until the 4th episode. So I wonder what they're going to do with Tabitha. Are we going to see Tabitha right there in that very first episode? I think we probably will. But could they potentially do a similar format like they did with Sarah, and maybe not even show Tabitha at all in the first episode, and kind of keep us chomping at the bit for that reveal? I certainly hope not. I hope we're going to get some Tabitha action in season 2 and find out exactly where she is, how long she's been there, what is her storyline going to look like in season 3, which we get a small glimpse of. It looks like she is obviously going to be trying to find a way back into the town, but it looks like she's going to be trying to find out information on Fromville as well, as she clearly runs into someone who has either been there or has dreamed about it before, which a lot of us seem to think is Eloise. I mean, we see those pictures on the wall that look an awful lot like young Eloise. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Could also be referencing Jim and Kenny's trek. Very well. Very well could be, Dr. Deb. That's right. We do see that Jim and Kenny are taking some kind of trek in season 3 out into the woods. It seems like they are the ones who kind of come across those weird totem things, scarecrow totem type things. So yeah, it could very well be in reference to that as well. I like it. Jade talking to Kenny's mom. Jade references when we go, when her husband dies. Yeah, I really like that one. I really, really like that one. I really like that one. And yeah, the season 1 episode, Oh, the Places We'll Go. That's right. And you notice in season 1, they played with a lot of kind of Dr. Seuss titles. Like, some of them were kind of very similar, and some of them were kind of a play on words for some Dr. Seuss titles. But yeah, they love their Dr. Seuss titles. There's some Alice in Wonderland titles that they've thrown into the show. So I love it. I do feel like the episode titles can definitely be clues at times. Maybe not every time, but sometimes the episode titles can be a little bit of a clue. Maybe we will find out more about what happens to people that pass away. When we go, maybe that's a very good possibility as well, Mike. Because there's still so many questions in terms of what happens to people when they die here. Obviously, Boyd's wife, Abby, had a theory where if you die here in Fromville, you'll wake up in the real world, which of course has not been tested or proven yet. But who knows? I mean, I have to imagine something happens when you die here. I get the feeling some, maybe not everyone that dies here, but it seems like at least some people that die inside the town seem to maybe get stuck there in some kind of form. And I get the feeling that is some of the voices that Sarah was tapping into in season 1 and season 2. Maybe some of these disembodied voices that she is hearing were potentially past residents of the town who have maybe died here and are unable to move on for whatever reason. So yeah, maybe. Sounds like we're going to find a way out, says Frankenstein, and very well could be pertaining to that as well. I think escape is going to be a very big theme in season 3, and the creators have kind of already hinted at that as well, as I believe they say specifically that the tantalizing and real possibility of escape is going to play a factor in season 3. And that makes perfect sense. I mean, when you consider what happened to Tabitha, knowing that Victor is most likely going to be going back to town without Tabitha, you're gonna stand to reason that, okay, a lot of people might think that she found a way out. And if she did indeed find a way out, then they know at the very least that it is possible to get out. So yeah, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about how people get in and out of this town. Maybe. Let's see what else we got. I'm acceptable with Jade. LOL, that's my favorite Jade quote. Me too. I mean, between that one and we get a really good one in season 2 when he says, just when we got rid of the smelly hippies from Colony House, now we got you guys here after the Matthews family kind of moving to Kenny's house. So yeah, Jade's got some of the best one-liners. That's my favorite scene. Stop complain. No complain. Tien Chen's the best. She really is awesome. She really is awesome. That was such an amazing scene showing how much emotional depth Jade actually has. And again, that's what I really like when shows and writers in particular peel back the layers on some of these characters. They'll present a character almost like it's 1 or 2 dimensional. And then slowly but surely, you know, this is why character development is so important in storytelling, proper character development. Because yes, you look at the journey that Jade went on from when he first arrives in Fromville to who Jade is at the end of season 2. He's a total and complete different person, it seems like, or at least the more genuine parts of him are now coming to the surface a little bit more, as opposed to when he first arrived here. Again, when he's kind of all full of piss and vinegar. So yeah, the character development has been great, and it was nice to see that other side to Jade. Yeah, Jade's the GOAT. Jade is the GOAT. Absolutely. Yeah, that scene was well acted for sure. It was incredible acting, incredible dialogue. The way he delivered the dialogue was very good. You know, you can write good dialogue all day, but if your talent, if your actors and actresses aren't delivering that dialogue in a believable manner, then it's really just wasted good dialogue at that point. And I've seen that happen on so many other shows where the writing and the dialogue will be really good, but the performance from some of the actors will just kind of not be up to par for the quality of writing. But that's what I love about From. The acting and the writing are kind of neck and neck in terms of really great quality that we're getting. It's not just surface level stuff that they're throwing at us. They throw some very deep things at us that really make you think every once in a while. And that's a very perfect example of that, you know, kind of really getting to see the deeper side to Jade. I like it. I like it. On the trailer, I think Boyd says, when we go home together. Oh, does he? Does he? Now that, who knows? It could be pertaining to that as well. That's an interesting one. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the trailer. I think I vaguely remember something similar like that in terms of Boyd saying, we'll go together. So yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's referring to something like that. Awesome, awesome stuff, guys. Awesome, awesome stuff. I love it. I love it. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I agree, Vic. You complain so much. Best line. I'll be sad if she dies. Her dynamic with Jade and Tabitha was very sweet. Yeah, I do think she's one of the better characters on the show. And I really was hoping that season 3 would be the season where they start to give Tien Chen a little bit more to do, kind of let her flex her muscles a little bit, because she's a phenomenal actress. She's great in the role. So yeah, I'm really hoping season 3 will be the season where she gets to kind of strut her stuff a little bit more. So hopefully Tien Chen's not on the chopping block. I don't want her to go. I don't want her to go. The others is a good reference. They are all ghosts. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I think Sarah's in the wheelbarrow. Ooh, great girl. I like it. I like it. If Tabitha is home, they better explain why the cops are interested in her, since the rest of her family is still missing as far as the cops should be concerned. That's a very good point. And we discussed this a little bit in the past, but that's going to be a huge question mark in terms of her. Like, I imagine the cops would be grilling her, at least in real world, in real life. They absolutely would be. I mean, there are these missing posters all over the place that show the entirety of the Matthews family missing. Tabitha, Jim, and both of the children. So if Tabitha kind of just pops up by herself with, not really even knowing how she ended up where she ends up, because from what we gather, she ends up on the side of a trail and a couple of hikers find her. Yeah, there's going to be some questions. There's going to be some questions and maybe even some suspicion levied against Tabitha in terms of her popping back up and the family not popping up, especially if they do some research into their relationship and start to figure out that things were a little bit rocky. I mean, it won't take a whole lot of research to figure out that they both recently lost a child, which could easily put a lot of strain on a marriage. We do know that they were actually getting ready to get divorced when they got stuck here in Fromville. They were going on one final vacation before they broke the news to the kids. So it wouldn't be too hard for them to start investigating some of these circumstances around Tabitha and Jim's relationship to find out that they might have been on some rocky ground. And then for Tabitha to pop up by herself, she could end up, if she's not careful, she could end up being a suspect in their disappearance if she's not careful. So it's a very good point. Very good point. All right, let's see what else we got. One more, though. I believe the title will have a double meaning. Could be a reference to Jade's quote to Tien Shen, and also a reference to what happens to people like Tabitha and Eloise when we go out of Fromville. Absolutely. And if we look back at some of these episode titles, some of them do have a lot of double or even triple meanings at times, where we look at a title and we think it's pertaining to one thing, and then you watch the episode and it's like, holy crap, you're seeing like 2 or 3 different references that could be referencing to the title alone. So it very well could be some double meanings going on here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, episode 2 is entitled Mouse Trap. Now, again, I think probably a lot of us, when we read this one, we instantly thought of the bear trap. The bear trap that catches somebody's leg inside it when they're running out in the snow. A lot of people seem to think that might be Christy's leg based on the clothes. And I think it very well could be too. The clothes do kind of match in terms of her jeans and the shoe that got caught in that bear trap. So yeah, who knows? Maybe Mousetrap could be referring to Christy or whoever that was getting their foot stuck in that bear trap. And that's going to be absolutely gnarly. That is really going to be absolutely gnarly if that whoever that happens to, especially happening in a place like Fromville. And speaking of the Mousetrap, we did actually get some leaked photos, not leaked photos, but the actor who plays Kenny, Ricky He, shared some photos on Instagram months ago. And he had a lot of them kind of photoshopped, so some things were covered up, so we couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but it did look like it was Jade and Kenny potentially carrying somebody that was having trouble walking. And I get the feeling this could potentially be maybe in the same episode where whoever gets their foot caught in the bear trap. And what makes it even more interesting is that these photos were deleted from his Instagram. I get the feeling maybe MGM or the show kind of came to him and said, you need to delete these. These are way too spoilery now that the trailer's out. So these were up on his Instagram at one point, but they have since been deleted. And I get the feeling it is because maybe it's spoiling a little bit too much. Here we have Kenny, here we have Jade, and they seem to be holding somebody up. Now, of course, he photoshopped, so we couldn't exactly see who is being held up. But they're clearly holding somebody up here as someone is having some trouble walking. And this could be whoever gets their foot caught in the bear trap. And that very well could be the Mousetrap of the Mousetrap title of the second episode. So I like that. I like that. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now this next one's very interesting. Let me pull this tomatoes back up. Let's pull up the Rotten Tomatoes again. And this next one is very, very interesting. And love to get the chat's opinion on this one. Episode 3 is titled There and Back Again. Now, obviously, when you hear There and Back Again, I mean, so many things kind of pop up into mind. I think Tabitha pops up into mind instantly in terms of being in the real world, getting stuck in Fromville, now being back in the real world, or even the complete opposite, where it's referring to Tabitha being in Fromville, leaving, and then coming back again. So there and back again is a very interesting one. There and back again could also be referring to some kind of travel, some kind of physical distance traveled, going there and back again, maybe some kind of return to the lighthouse even maybe. But this one's very, very interesting. There and back again. Love to know what you guys think about that. Mousetrap equals tempting a mouse to come and get something. Very interesting, Bill D. Yeah, I mean, we did see that they are going to be focusing on going on the offensive in season 3, at least according to John Griffin, that the characters will be focusing a little bit more on going on the offensive in season 3. So could Mousetrap could potentially be referring to them setting some kind of trap for one of the monsters even. I know we've been talking about this ever since season 1 aired in terms of we really need them to trap a monster at some point. They need to trap one of these monsters some way, shape, or form and get some real information out of it. It would make for a very interesting scene for starters if they do manage to kind of trap one of these monsters in some manner. I think that'd be so freaking interesting to see nonetheless. But it also could give us some answers, and that could be a very interesting way that the writers could advance the plot a little bit and reveal some details that way if they do, in fact, successfully trap a monster and interrogate it, for lack of better terms. So yeah, Mousetrap could be them attempting to trap a monster, maybe. I like it. I like it. P.S. I believe Boyd will be hurt mostly because if it's Sarah going, he grew very attached to her and let her live. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like that is going to be a theme in season 3. Them trying to break Boyd in some way, shape, or form. We see something nasty is happening in that barn, where the monsters are tying Boyd up and making him watch something horrific, something that is clearly affecting him. And yeah, a lot of people seem to think that it might be Tabitha in that barn. Fatima has been another popular theory. Yeah, I mean, if something like that were to happen to Sarah in front of Boyd, I definitely think it would take a little bit of a toll on him, just considering, like you said, Boyd and Sarah did start to become a little bit close towards the end of season 1 and in season 2. So yeah, very well could be something like that. Very well could be. Christy got the bear trap, I think. Yeah, just based on the clothes, it looks like it might be Christy. Yeah. Just based on those jeans and the shoe. Looks like it could be Christy. It's someone tall. Wait, was that Boyd? Ooh. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows gets stuck? Who knows who's going to get stuck in that thing? It's going to be interesting to see, though. We do know at one point Kenny and Jim actually go out into the woods and they go on their trek. And when we look at that photo of whoever Jade and Kenny are holding up, it looks like they're in some kind of green sweater shirt. And it looks an awful lot like the same sweater that Jim is wearing later on in the trailer. So if it's not Christy, I think it's Jim. I think it's got to be one of those two characters that get their foot caught in the bear trap. Christy seems like a very good option, but if it's not Christy, I get the feeling it might be Jim. Just based on the clothes of the color of the sweater and based on the fact that we know Kenny and Jim trek out into the woods together. So yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those two. Get the feeling it's going to be one of those two. Maybe they are just trapping mice to eat. Honestly, Jen, you might be right. You very well might be right. We know that season 3 is going to have a major food shortage. They're already teasing that at the end of season 2, and they're already teasing that in the season 3 trailer. Food is definitely going to get scarce. So yeah, maybe they have to resort to trapping mice to eat. I mean, could very well be possible. Could very well be possible. Jade said the people are like rats in a maze, so Mousetrap totally fits with Christy getting caught in the bear trap. It does. It definitely fits. And I love that analogy from Jade in terms of in terms of him speaking about never being the mouse inside the trap. Jade's always the one that places the cheese. He's the one that sets the trap. So for the role to kind of get reversed would be kind of ironic, if nothing else. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I knew Gandalf would show up looking for Bilbo and the one true ring. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, still to this day, I'm still crossing my fingers and holding out hope that one day we see a 67 Chevy Impala stroll up into Fromville and Sam and Dean Winchester get out. That is the ultimate crossover I want to see. Let's throw Sam and Dean in Fromville and sick them on these monsters. They'll make quick work of these monsters. Absolutely. Ando thought of Bilbo as well. Nice. Yeah, there and back again sounds like the opening to The Hobbit. A lot of Hobbit references. I like it. Hobbit came to mind for a lot of you. Awesome. Awesome. I like it. I like it. I like it indeed. Hello from Kuwait. Well, welcome, Rowan from Kuwait. So glad to have you here. So glad to have everybody here this evening. Awesome. Awesome to see where people are tuning in from. It's always so impressive. Awesome. 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 How many years? I agree. How many years is the question for me? I think the others' encampment will eventually be revealed to play a major role in young Victor's survival and life. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. I mean, that's been a huge question as well. We're all trying to figure out how exactly did Victor survive on his own here for so long? Seemingly decades, maybe even. Now, we're not 100% sure if Victor was just by himself for decades or if there were other arrivals to the town who have since come and gone, maybe been killed off subsequently. So that's one thing the show, I think, really needs to answer. I get the feeling Victor was on his own for a very long time. But how long exactly was Victor by himself before some new arrivals started to show up again? Was Victor on his own all the way until Donna showed up? Or were there some other arrivals in between Victor and Donna that maybe arrived and were killed off before this group that we now know as the residents of Fromville came to be? So yeah, a lot of questions there as to what is going on with Victor and how long he was actually stuck here alone. Mousetrap could be a reference to the ambush. Yes, that Boyd and Donna had happened in the trailer. The monsters employ a trap. The people are like rats in a maze, as Jade says. Yeah, very well could be. I mean, we're focused with hoping anyway, that the survivors are going to start going on the offensive and hopefully try and trap a monster at some point. But what if it's the exact opposite? What if it's the monsters setting the trap for the humans? A lot of people seem to think that the livestock is going to deliberately get let out to draw people out of their homes at night to hopefully save the livestock and put themselves in danger, which very well could be the case. I mean, the livestock has never been more essential than it is in season 3, considering the massive food shortages. You have things like cows and chickens and stuff like that. You're going to have at least some source of food that will sustain you for a little while. But if the monsters start kind of killing off the livestock or letting the livestock out to kind of lure people out of the houses at night, yeah, it could get even more dire. So yeah, Mousetrap could be the monsters actually setting a trap for the survivors and not vice versa, or even vice versa, one or the other. I like it. I like it. I thought it was a guy, but who knows? Yeah, it's really hard to tell in terms of the leg that gets caught in the bear trap, in terms of is it a male or a female. Again, I think if it's not Tabitha, I think if it's not Christy, I think it might be Jim, just based on the color of the sweater. And the same color of the sweater that we see Kenny and Jade holding up in that photo that was deleted off Instagram. So yeah, I think Christy's a very good bet, but if it's not Christy, I think Jade is my second pick. I mean, Jim is my second pick. For sure. Not in the trap, though. No, I don't think it's Boyd. Ooh, I hope it's Jim. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are probably hoping that it's Jim. Jim doesn't have a whole lot of love. Jim is not getting a whole lot of love from the fandom. Randall kind of wears his jeans / socks like Christy as well. Ooh, interesting. Interesting, Gardenia. Yeah, maybe it could be Randall. Very possible. Absolutely very possible. I think the ambush is going to be an eclipse with the monsters showing up in the middle of the day. That's when Woody and his pals will capture Boyd and bring him to the barn. Yeah, and I love the eclipse possibilities. That's something we definitely have been talking about for a while. And it's just, it would be so scary, wouldn't it be? I mean, they're out there, it's the middle of the day. Now, granted, eclipse don't really just turn you from night to day in a split second. It takes a little bit of time. So if an eclipse were to come around, they would probably at least have a little bit of a warning in terms of scrambling to try and get into the house before the monsters actually came out. But then again, this is Fromville at the end of the day. We have no idea where this place is. We have no idea how anything works here. So an eclipse could happen much, much faster here in Fromville as opposed to, when we see an eclipse in the real world. So yeah, that would be incredibly scary if they're just out there doing their day-to-day chores and all of a sudden, boom, it goes from day to night and the monsters are on them. That would be very interesting. Very, very interesting. There and back again could be referring to other residents that may have been there and back. Cough, cough. Tilly, Fanny Pat Granny, the most sus of all of these sus characters, pointing her finger of scorn. Yeah, Fanny Pat Granny is incredibly sus. Tilly, as she is referred to as. We like to call her Fanny Pat Granny, though. She'll always be Fanny Pat Granny, in my opinion. But yes, I mean, for some reason, a lot of people think that she might have been in Fromville at some other point, left, and maybe returned. And I suppose it's possible. I suppose it is very well possible. There's a lot about Fanny Pat Granny that I think still needs to get revealed. I mean, we saw how incredibly sus she was in season 2, popping up in just the right place at the right time, having all of this weird information that she probably shouldn't even have had in terms of knowing exactly where Kenny was, knowing where this was, popping up at the medical clinic at just the right time. So yeah, Fanny Pat Granny is super sus, and we need to learn a little bit more about her. And yes, Vic, Dancing in the Rain, super sus from the very first time we saw her. Right when she got off of that bus, she was sus. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. You guys, who's your favorite actor slash actress on the show? Mine is Jade. Well, mine is Jade as well. Jade has been my favorite character since season 1, with Boyd a very close second. So for me, yes, it is Jade and Boyd. Those are my two favorites. But yeah, sound off in the chat. If you guys have a favorite character, let it be known. Let it be known. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, that would be the best crossover, unless the monsters are aliens. Even if they're aliens, I think Sam and Dean would take them. Sam and Dean can take out anything. Unless it's, I was about to spoil the ending of Supernatural. I'm glad I just pulled myself back. Yeah, it's definitely my dream team up, seeing that 67 Chevy Impala just show up into Fromville. That's the team up right there. That is the team up. Not sure who my favorite character is, but Jim is my least favorite. Yeah, that sentiment definitely seems to be shared throughout a big portion of the fandom. Not a lot of people like Jim. I'm still trying to hold out some kind of hope for Jim. I'm hoping beyond hope that Jim is going to prove everybody wrong. There's a lot more evidence to the contrary. So you guys might be right when it comes to Jim. You guys might be right. We need to know the foundation, or at least flashback. Yeah, in terms of like what this place is, how it came to be. Now, I know they talked about not relying heavily on flashbacks. It's not going to be like Lost, where we get a ton of flashbacks that start explaining some of these characters' backstories and where they were before they got stuck here. And I know that's a big question on a lot of fans' minds, is who were these people in the real world? What were they doing before they got stuck here in Fromville? We've heard a little bit about Father Cautry's story before he got stuck here. We know a little bit about the Matthews family and everything they were going through when they got stuck here. We know Boyd and his family were on some kind of boating trip when they got stuck here. So we're learning a little bit here and there. But yeah, I do remember the writer saying that they're not going to lean heavily on flashbacks as a plot device to explain characters' backstories. So as much as I really want to see some more flashbacks, and I think we'll see some here and there, I just don't think we're going to get a whole lot of them. I don't think it's going to be an abundance of flashbacks to kind of explain things, but I would like to see a few. I definitely would like to see a few. Because up until this point, yes, they have been using flashbacks pretty sparingly, but every flashback they have used has revealed something pretty big in terms of information. Whether it was the entire flashback episode that we get in season 1 that shows Boyd originally arriving to the town, how he found the talismans, how Boyd kind of whipped the town into shape, bringing it from a place where people were barely surviving to a place where people can actually build a life here now. And of course, in season 2, we get some interesting flashbacks to Victor when he is a child. We learn about the massacre. We learn about Eloise, Victor's mother. All of that stuff comes in flashbacks. So the flashbacks, while have been used very sparingly, they have been providing some very information through the flashbacks. So I hope we'll get a little bit more of that. I'm just not expecting too much of it, I guess. But I guess we shall see. I guess we shall see. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down a little bit. I won't lie. If Echo 1 shows up and Granny Gould gets trapped in a ghost trapped by the Ghostbusters, my 1980s heart will be happy, even if my theory crafting mind won't be. Yeah, if nothing else, like you said, it'll even if it throws some of our theories out of the window, it would be pretty cool to see, if nothing else. So I'm with you there, Tyler. I'm with you there. Absolutely. I hope Marielle is in the trap. I didn't see her in trap. Finger crossed. She is gone this season. Kenny needs a break. Yeah, poor Kenny. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Kenny. I'm hoping that maybe he'll get lucky one day, but Kenny's destiny might be to die a virgin. Let's be honest. But who knows? If Marielle does kind of get lopped off and killed off the show at one point, maybe it can open up the door for Kenny to kind of slide back in there and rekindle his relationship with Christy. Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully her mullet will be on by then too. But yeah, Marielle, I mean, in terms of characters that came into the show that everybody kind of jumped on, that was very, very fun in season 2 watching Marielle's character. I think the actress is a phenomenal actress. But yeah, she caught a lot of flack for giving Christy that haircut in season 2. Seems like the whole fandom hated the haircut. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with Marielle in season 3. That would make sense with Ethan opening the door too. What if it was sudden? Yeah, in terms of an eclipse potentially explaining why Ethan opened the door, absolutely. I mean, if he thought it was just daytime out and he hears a knock on the door, then yeah, he's going to be a little bit more inclined to just open that door because he's going to think it's safe. So yeah, that's a very good point as well. Very good point as well. Indeed. But would the monsters know about the eclipse? Now, that's a very good question. And I guess it goes back to how exactly these monsters operate to begin with. Now, obviously, we know they only come out at night, but is that because they can only come out at night? We know that they sleep during the day, but can they physically come out during the day if they wanted to? Would the sunlight hurt them? I mean, we do see Smiley's dead body that is out there in the middle of the day, and it doesn't look like the sun is having any adverse reactions to Smiley. But then again, Smiley's already dead, so maybe that could be a reason why there was no reaction. But yeah, we really need to find out what is going on. I mean, is the sunlight allergic? Are they allergic to the sunlight in some weird way? Or do they just choose not to come out during the day? Are they just simply nocturnal creatures? And if that is the case, can they sense when the sun is up or when the sun is down? I guess that remains to be seen. But if they can sense when it is nighttime, when it is daytime, then I imagine if an eclipse happens, they'll probably feel it. They might feel it. But again, who knows? It's a great question. Great question, Flying Kid. Very good question. Let's see what else we got. Why can't There and Back Again simply be a Tabitha-centric storyline related to her finding Eloise's house and paintings and trying to get back? It very well could be. I mean, I don't think there's anything saying it couldn't. It very well could be that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't see anything pointing to putting that out of the question definitely could be possible. Absolutely. Because it does seem like Tabitha's storyline in season 3 is going to be tied to Eloise. I think a lot of us were very much anticipating Eloise playing some sort of part in season 3. If not Eloise the character, then at least Eloise's life in terms of Tabitha maybe investigating the rest of Eloise's life. If Eloise is still alive, we have no idea if she's still alive or not, or where she is. We don't really get a whole lot from the trailer other than Tabitha visiting that house that could have been Eloise's house, or maybe even Eloise's husband's house, based on the new character that we see Tabitha talking to. But yeah, no, it very well could be pertaining to just simply Tabitha trying to get back. Absolutely. And maybe even Eloise getting back as well and saving her brother. There's a story there for sure, but I don't think she's evil, says Greek Girl. Yeah, in terms of Fanny Pack Granny, yeah, it's really hard to tell what is going on with Fanny Pack Granny. You know, is she sus? Is she evil? Is she just a little bit eccentric? It's really hard to tell. I don't know if I would paint her as evil yet. I would definitely paint her as sus, especially considering how season 2 ends, where she's starting the prayer group, and we all know how kind of cult-like mentalities can really take over in a high-stress situation like this. Anyone who's watched The Mist knows exactly what I'm talking about. It can be very dangerous, very quick in terms of ideologies, but yeah, who knows? Who knows where Fanny Pack Granny is going to kind of lay on things. I'm not 100% convinced she's evil, but she's definitely sus. Definitely a bit sus. But who knows? Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about her in season 3. Maybe we will learn a little bit more. Gardenia Blossom says, I don't mind Jim. There we go, Gardenia. See, I am not alone. Thank you. Yeah, see, I don't mind Jim. Again, I'm still holding on a little bit of hope for Jim. I think Jim's story ultimately is going to end in some kind of heroic sacrifice saving his family. I do think that is ultimately where Jim's storyline is heading. But who knows? I could be wrong. Jim could die in a completely coward manner for all I know. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, Gardenia, I'm holding out some hope for Jim. So I'm glad I'm not alone. I am glad I'm not alone there. Tyler B says, Fanny Pack Granny voted out of more Among Us games than anyone else playing. Yeah, definitely don't cast her on Survivor. She'd be the first gone, I think. Although maybe they'll keep her around just to have someone easy to beat, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Good point. Jade is definitely my favorite. Awesome. Yeah, seems like Jade is a heavy fan favorite, and for good reason. You know, he's awesome. He's one of the most interesting characters on the show. And again, in terms of like character arcs, in terms of character development, Jade has probably evolved the most as a character from season 1 to season 2 in terms of how he started to where he is now. I don't think any other character has evolved more than Jade has. So yeah, he's definitely one of the most interesting ones, for sure. For sure. Jade, the Rolex, dude. 1000% Jade, says Julie Barbara. Yeah, Jade's awesome. Jade is absolutely awesome. Sarah, she's invincible. Frank gets drunk and the town executes him. Sarah kills people and she just keeps on ticking. I can't argue this, BK. I cannot argue this. Kenny very much wanted Sarah thrown into that box. And even by the end of season 2, even Kenny was kind of coming around to maybe even forgiving Sarah. He goes from wanting Sarah in the box to saving her from killing herself when she puts the gun to her head. So yeah, Sarah might be invincible. You might be right. You might be right. My favorite on the show is the cameraman responsible for framing these shots of Tabby. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. She is beautiful, after all. She is a very beautiful and striking woman, so you can't argue that. Absolutely not. Jim needs to do something good. And again, I get the feeling that's where Jim's storyline is heading. I do think Jim is going to screw up a lot before he ultimately gets his quote-unquote redemption. I do think Jim's going to have a lot of hiccups along the way, but I am hoping beyond hope, I guess, that maybe Jim's storyline will end in some kind of heroic sacrifice. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong. And we have 5 gifted memberships from Robert Saunders. Thank you so much, Robert, for the gift of the 5 memberships. Awesome stuff. Looks like Flying Kitten is now a member. Jamie Bowen is now a member. Caitlin is now a member. BB is now a member. Welcome one, welcome all. So glad to have each and every one of you here. And by all means, do not be shy to make use of those custom from emojis. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Robert, for the gifted memberships. Cover your ears, chat. You know what that means. A whoa is on the way. Whoa! Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kenny gonna make a play at Shoddy Busted, the female cheer creature we see in the labyrinth. Kenny might get desperate enough to do something like that. I mean, we have seen similar happen in season 1 in terms of the Jasmine monster just completely manipulating that fool into thinking that he was some, love-struck, well, he was actually some love-struck idiot. And she totally convinces him to open the window, and which leads, of course, to the slaughter of a bunch of people in Colony House. So these monsters have been known to manipulate romantically in the past. Who knows? Maybe Kenny will fall for that same thing. Maybe. Take the gun off Kenny and the scissors off Marielle, says Jen Hack. Yeah, Kenny is, I don't know where I kind of stand on Kenny, to be honest. Kenny, I loved Kenny in season 1. I really enjoyed Kenny's character in season 1. He had some really great scenes, some really great moments. Just seeing that heartbreak when he sees what happens to his father, like knowing the close relationship he has with his father. He's taking such good care of his father. Anyone who has a parent that has ailing health problems, which I myself that's exactly why I kind of have moved back in home recently. I am taking care of my mother currently. So anyone who's been through something like that, you know what it is. I mean, to take care of a parent, it's very emotionally taxing. Seeing these people who raised you, who were superheroes to you, like my parents were heroes to me and still are. And to see them, their health slowly start to decay and have to be there for them, it's emotionally draining at times. And to see how much Kenny was there for his father and his mother, and to just see the heartbreak on his face after seeing what happened to his father, I think Kenny had a phenomenal arc in season 1. Season 2, Kenny, I didn't like as much. Maybe it was just some of the choices that they went with his character. I know that he was definitely justified in some cases in terms of kind of flying off the handle at some times. But yeah, I really enjoyed season 1 Kenny a bit more than season 2 Kenny, I guess. But no, looking forward to seeing where Kenny goes in season 3, though, for sure. For sure. Business in the front, party in the back. Indeed. Indeed. Somehow Christy's haircut managed to do the impossible and get even worse in the trailer. Yikes, what a hack job. It's just, it does seem to get worse, doesn't it? It does seem to get worse. Yeah, someone needs to fire that hairstylist. And it just turns out that her hairstylist turns out to be her girlfriend. So yeah, let's get them scissors away from Marielle. I agree. Hopefully the good God brings a barber into the town to fix Christy's hair if she's going to be in the upcoming seasons. It's the least we deserve. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can get a nice barber get stuck into Fromville in season 3, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down a little bit. The talismans have symbols for the sun and the moon. Yes, the cave drawing map also has 2 exit points with the red sun symbol, which indicates they can only exit during the night. No, not the cave entrance. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that does play a factor. I mean, can they only escape at night in some instances? I mean, it looks like Tabitha, when she seemingly escaped, when she goes out of the lighthouse window, it's still light out. It's during the day when Tabitha escapes. But again, we still don't exactly know how Tabitha escaped. We know the boy in white pushes her out of the lighthouse, and next thing we know, she wakes up in a hospital bed. But what was the mechanism in which she managed to escape? Does she fall through some kind of portal? What exactly happened? That is something we still need to find out. But who knows? Maybe night and day play some sort of part in it. It's very possible. Definitely possible, for sure. I was neutral on Jim until his Chromonacle dance scene. Yeah, the dance scene is not winning him any points, for sure. The dance scene is definitely not winning him any points. That is for sure. Let's see what else we got. The entire cave drawing is a map. There literally is the cave entrance, the river entrance, and two entrances in red, which is probably for the creatures. Interesting. Yeah, the whole cave map thing. I mean, we've been trying to decipher the heck out of this thing for so long, and I feel like we've made some progress in some areas. Yeah, other areas we still just have no idea what is going on. Like the red symbol, for instance. We still have yet to see that red symbol anywhere else in the show. The symbol right next to it, of course, is the symbol that Jade has been seeing all over the place. The same symbol that Christopher was seeing before Jade. But in terms of that weird red symbol, we haven't seen that anywhere else in the series yet. And maybe we will. Maybe season 3 will be the season where we finally see or learn a little bit more about that red symbol, because we haven't really seen that thing anywhere else yet. I'm hoping we do. I am hoping we do. Well, that makes perfect sense why I love Jade so much. My favorite character in Game of Thrones are Jaime and Theon. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. I like it. I like it. Speaking of intense situations like the Mist, maybe Christopher tried to start a cult, and it culminated in everyone sacrificing themselves to the monsters, or Christopher revealing the hiding spots. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, now, I mean, it seems like Christopher played some kind of hand in the massacre. What that hand was, we still don't quite know. But I like this. I mean, I always definitely thought that Christopher might have potentially revealed the hiding spots. I feel like that does make a little bit of sense, especially when you hear from Victor in season 2 that their mother came up to him and Eloise and specifically said, find somewhere to hide where Christopher can't find you, not where the monsters can't find you. Find somewhere to hide where Christopher can't find you. So yeah, it's looking more and more like he had a heavy hand in that massacre and making it possible. And maybe that was it. Maybe it was some kind of sacrifice. Could he have potentially convinced the entire town to sacrifice themselves? Could he have convinced the entire town that dying is the only way to escape? Maybe. Definitely possible. Or could it be a little bit more nefarious where he just kind of revealed the hiding spots and sacrificed everybody in the town unwillingly? Definitely both possibilities. Definitely both possibilities. For sure. Let's see what else we got. Oh my God, I love you. Nothing wrong with Jim. Why do people hate Jim? Yeah, Jim just does not. I mean, I'll be the first to admit Jim does do some kind of, boneheaded things at times. So I understand people not having Jim as their favorite character. But yeah, I don't know. I still have a little bit of hope for Jim. I haven't hopped on the full hate bandwagon yet. I mean, season 3 might kind of sway me in one direction or the other, depending on how smart or how dumb Jim acts. But yeah, I'm holding on a little bit of hope for Jim. But man, the man bun alone, is deducting so many points. Like Jim, never put that man bun on again. The man bun does not work. That's just my opinion. If you guys like man buns, that is totally cool. I'm just not a big fan of the man bun. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. The river is their escape. There are lots of natural references. Yeah, I mean, the river, and that was one thing that one of our co-hosts, Snuggy, he had an idea very early on where he thought the Brundles could potentially be some kind of route out of Fromville. We haven't really seen where the Brundles lead to. We know that it's a small body of water, but how small is the body of water, and does it connect to a bigger body of water somewhere else? We haven't seen the Brundles as a whole to know exactly where it leads to. Because if you go back and look in season 1 and season 2, every time they show the Brundles, it's almost like the camera is deliberately not showing the Brundles in its entirety. So we never really get a true sense of just how big these Brundles are. Is it just a little pond that is secluded? Or is it potentially connect to another body of water somewhere. And I always thought that was a pretty interesting theory that maybe there is a water or a river entrance or exit out of Fromville somewhere. Because, like you guys mentioned, when you look at some of the cave paintings, we have that very specific cave painting that looks like it is people in boats arriving into Fromville, arriving via boat. So yeah, maybe there could be some kind of river entrance or exit that needs to be discovered. Very possible. Very, very possible. Let's see what else we got. Let's dive back into some of these episode titles. Now, episode 4, of course, is The Light of Day. Now, if there's ever going to be any kind of eclipse action, this seems like a very good episode to do it in. The Light of Day. Just going from complete day to complete night, seeing the light of day absolutely fade. Who knows? Who knows? But The Light of Day is episode 4's title. And yeah, I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about that. And again, whenever I think about the monsters and I think about how they operate, I wonder, do they just choose not to come out at night? I mean, not to come out during the day, or can they physically not come out during the day? That's one thing that the show hopefully will answer sooner or later. Are they actually prohibited from coming out in sunlight, or are they just nocturnal and they just prefer nighttime? Because that could potentially add a whole new dynamic to this show. If the monsters are physically capable of coming out during the day, then all bets are off. I mean, yes, you'll still have the talismans that keep you safe, but you're going to have to spend so much time inside. I mean, outside just wouldn't be safe anymore, whether it's night or day at that point. So yeah, I'm hoping that we learn a little bit more about what exactly is going on. Can they come out during the daylight, or do they just choose to be nocturnal is the question, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Victor is unreliable narrator who wants to help. A very interesting trope that you don't see very often. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And of course, anyone who is a Song of Ice and Fire fan who's read Fire and Blood, George R. R. Martin definitely leans heavily on the whole unreliable narrator trope. And in some cases, it works very well. And in some cases, it can be almost a hindrance to storytelling. So if they are going to do something similar, and I do agree with you, Tyler, it does seem like Victor is one of those kind of unreliable narrator characters in terms of we can't quite trust everything that Victor says and sees, because even his own memories fail him. So they are kind of setting him up to be that kind of unreliable narrator type character. And like you said, it's a very interesting plot device that they can do so many things with a plot device like that, storytelling and narrative wise. So yeah, Victor, in terms of, I know I put out a poll on our community tab recently asking everybody whose storyline are you guys looking forward to most in season 3? Now, of course, for me, it's definitely Jade. Second is definitely Boyd, but for third has got to be Victor. Just for me personally, those are probably my top 3 storylines I'm looking forward to seeing. Jade, Boyd, Victor, with Tabitha probably being a close 4th, because I mean, Tabitha's storyline is going to be very interesting in season 3, I think. But yeah, I like the unreliable narrator trope that they're playing with Victor, and I think it's going to be a very interesting kind of narrative tool going forward. Very interesting narrative tool for sure. Jim catching strays left and right. I actually like Jim. I don't know how I would do. I don't know how I would do in From if my young kids are trapped with me, especially when the kids have almost died several times. Yeah, I mean, if I were to get stuck, I mean, I don't have any children myself per se, so I can't really speak as a parent. But if I was a parent, yeah, I would much rather get stuck in Fromville, just me, than having my kids there as well. Especially my young teenage kids, like kids at that, who aren't quite as capable as defending themselves. They're still kids, especially Ethan's case. So yeah, again, you know, Jim has done a lot wrong. That is for sure. He's made some bonehead moves, but I'm trying to hold on to a little bit of hope for Jim. Trying to hold on a little bit of hope. I think Jade will actually get everyone rescued or find the way out for everyone. He's that smart and clever. And I do think he's going to play a vital role. Yes. I mean, in terms of potentially finding real answers and finding a real way out of here, I do think Jade and his symbol are going to be an integral part of that. I also think Victor's going to play a big part in that as well. I think Sarah's going to have a very big role to play as well in terms of her really being able to tap into the supernatural aspect of things. I think that's going to come in very handy certain times. So yeah, these kind of core characters, these are going to be the ones that are going to most likely be responsible for finding real answers and hopefully finding a way out one day. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Jade's going to be vital. Jade is going to be vital. And watch, I mean, we're all thinking Jade's going to be so vital. Watch them kill him off in season 3. They better not. I mean, they absolutely better not. But man, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Wouldn't be surprised at this point. Christopher kills everyone on the night Victor says bad things happen. Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't look. I don't know if Victor killed everyone himself, because when we look at all of those bodies, it looks like they were ripped apart by monsters. Unless you're talking about the next time that happens when Victor starts digging all of the graves and the Colony House massacre happens. But I do think Christopher definitely had. It's not. Excuse me. I was thinking of Victor. But no, Christopher. I definitely think he played a big part in the massacre. I don't know if he killed everybody himself. Again, when we see a lot of those bodies scattered along the street and stuff, when Victor emerges the next morning back in '78 when he's still a kid. It looks like all of the people were killed by monsters, just based on body parts scattered all over the place. It looked very typical for your monster kind of kill. So I do think the monsters did the killing, but I definitely think Victor played some kind of role in that massacre, whether he helped the monsters, whether he led them to the hiding spots. Christopher definitely seemed to play some sort of role in it, but I don't think he did the killing physically himself. It looked like that was the monsters, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. They're nuts for casually swimming in the Brundles. I might drop a fishing line in it. No way I jump in. Absolutely. No, I'm 100% with you, Michael. 100% with you. I mean, you got to think of where they are. They're in this nightmarish, hellish landscape with monsters that come out at night to just completely claw you to freaking dust. The Brundles is literally the last thing I would be dipping my toes in. Who knows what the heck's down there? So yeah, like you said, drop a fishing line in it is one thing, but I would not be swimming in those damn Brundles. Who knows what the fuck's down there? Who knows what's down there? So I'm with you there, Mike. I am with you there. It does seem like some of the rules are changing. Absolutely, Jen. Absolutely. The rules are changing. I mean, this place is in some kind of state of change, which hasn't really happened in a very long time, maybe even ever, according to Victor, where he has always remembered this place staying exactly the same the entire time he's been there, in terms of weather and leaves falling off trees and such. But as we saw, this place is clearly changing. The leaves are falling off the trees. It's getting colder and colder. Some kind of winter is moving in, and we know season 3 is going to bring snow into Fromville. So yeah, it does seem like they're in some kind of state of change. The entire town is in some kind of state of change, it seems. Absolutely. Why do we think Christopher killed everyone? Yeah, see, I don't think he did. I definitely think it was the monsters that killed everyone. I just think Christopher had some sort of part in it, just based off some of the kind of surrounding evidence. We do hear Victor say that his mother came up to him and said, find somewhere to hide where Christopher can't find you. Not where the monsters can't find you. Find somewhere to hide where Christopher can't find you, was what Victor said. So I don't think Christopher did the killing himself in terms of the massacre. It definitely looks like that was more the monsters' work. But I think Christopher played some sort of part in it, just based off that line we got from Victor in terms of, you know, hiding somewhere where Christopher can't find you, and based off the whole symbol and everything that Jade is going through right now. It seems like Jade is being plagued by this symbol, trying to figure it out. Seems like the same thing probably happened to Christopher as well. And who knows, did this symbol ultimately corrupt and drive Christopher mad? So he would end up kind of helping the monsters in that massacre. But no, I don't think Christopher did the killing himself. I mean, we look at those bodies scattered all over the street the next morning. It very much looks like they were victims of monsters. There's limbs all over the place. There's legs severed all over the place. That's just not something a human being could do single-handedly. It's just, we're not physically capable of that. So it does look like the monsters did the actual killing, but I do think Christopher played some sort of part in it. What part he played, who knows? Who knows? But yes, yeah, everything's changing, beginning with the weather. Yeah, I mean, the weather was the first kind of indication. Well, not even the weather. It seems like the trees were the first kind of indication. Even when we look back at the second episode of season one, right at the beginning of the series, we see Victor behind Colony House measuring the distance from Colony House to the trees. And it seems like from very early on, right from the time we had two cars arrive, the Matthews family and Jade, which Victor did kind of point out that the last time two cars arrived, bad things started to happen. And when Victor saw two cars arrive again, he definitely took that as a sign of a bad omen of things to come. And he was right. I mean, the Colony House massacre happens just a few episodes later. So he was definitely right in terms of two cars arriving at once being some sort of bad omen. And maybe that is where the change started, right when the two cars arrived, because it seems like from that moment on is when Victor is starting to kind of measure these trees, seeing if they've moved and all of that. So yeah, the trees seem to be the first indication of things changing here. Then, of course, followed by the colder weather starting to move in as season two started to progress, for sure. Definitely, it's definitely in a state of change. This place is changing. Do talismans work in an eclipse or only at night? Never work in day? That's a very good question, Bill. Very good question. I mean, there's just so much we don't know about these monsters. We've never seen them come out during the day, so none of the survivors have ever had cause to test the talisman out during the day. But who knows? I mean, could the talismans be one of those things that only works at night? I don't know. Maybe, Bill. Maybe. It's an interesting theory. It's an interesting thought. I like it. Victor is the most interesting. I mean, in terms of characters that have the most to uncover, yes, I think Victor is probably one of, if not the most interesting character in terms of just all of the layers that still need to be peeled back so we can get to the real Victor. Yeah, definitely one of the more interesting characters for sure. For sure. According to my theory, Victor has won this game before. So the more he rediscovers about his past, the more we learn about what this place actually is. Ooh, interesting, Tyler. Very interesting. Yeah, I do think we will see that theme continue in terms of Victor, rediscovering past memories that he has maybe suppressed, or memories that he's not sure are a memory or are a dream. Because again, that's why Victor makes all of these drawings. It's so later on he can discern if something was real or if something was just a dream. If there's a drawing of it, then it's a real memory, according to Victor. That's how he first remembers about the massacre to begin with in season one. That's how he first remembers that he even had a sister to begin with. So I do think we will definitely see that theme continue. And they kind of already hinted that in the season 3 trailer. We get that nice little dialogue between Victor and Sarah, where Victor says to Sarah, "I need to figure out." And Sarah's like, "What?" And Victor says, "What's missing?" So it does look like Victor is going to be on some kind of quest to maybe uncover some lost memories in season 3. And that in turn will hopefully, yes, provide us with some more answers to not only what happened in the past, but hopefully give us an idea as to how to combat things in the future as well. So yeah, Victor's memories are going to be a huge part of the show going forward. And in season 3 in particular, it does look like, again, Victor's going to be on a quest to discover some lost memories. And who knows? Well, I guess we'll have to see what he discovers. I guess we will have to see what he discovers. I like that Victor had an escape plan for getting out of Colony House. He has definitely been through bad times. It does kind of show you that he is prepared, if nothing else, right, Jen? Absolutely, 100% agree. Because yeah, like you said, he's got the rope ready. He's got the rope that's already ready with all the knots in it. He ties it right on the rafter, throws it right out of the window. He had a clear escape plan. Hell, he even had a go bag, it seems like. Throws all of his drawings in a bag, throws one over his shoulder, throws the other over Julie's shoulder, and he goes. So yeah, it does look like Victor has some contingencies in place in case something like that ever happened. He clearly had a contingency for if the monsters ever got inside Colony House. So I imagine he probably has some other contingencies out there in place as well. And who knows, maybe some of those contingencies will take us back to the Peach Truck and the infamous Peach Truck map that we have been just pouring over since that episode aired. So yeah, you could be right, Jen. I like that. I like that. And yes, that's a good question. It depends on the definition of quote unquote night, I guess, which is very true, which is very true. And again, I really do like the eclipse ideas. I think that's been a very interesting idea from the beginning in terms of, we see that these things only come out at night. They think they're safe during the day. Boom, all of a sudden an eclipse just completely throws everything upside down. But yeah, what exactly is quote unquote night and day? I mean, can they come out at dusk? Does it have to be completely pitch black? Questions we still don't know, but good questions nonetheless. Indeed. The light of day could be when an eclipse happens and the ambulance arrives in the dark along with an attack on Colony House, perhaps. Or it could be the day after this stuff happens, in my opinion. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the new characters that are going to get introduced in season 3. Like you mentioned with the ambulance, we do know that an ambulance is going to arrive in Fromville, and it looks like there is a female officer that is going to be a new character in season 3. It looks like the ambulance driver doesn't last too long if his body sprayed out in the street is any indication. It doesn't look like the ambulance driver himself is going to last too long. Which is tragic. I mean, they could definitely use some more medical expertise here. I know they do have Christy, but another paramedic certainly wouldn't hurt. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what is going on with that ambulance scene. Could an eclipse be the reason why the ambulance shows up at night? Because again, showing up at night in Fromville, it's just 10 times more dangerous than showing up during the day, as we've seen in the past. We saw Boyd and his family showed up just as it was starting to get dark. But Father Cautry was lucky enough to get Boyd and his family out of the car and down into the hiding hole before it really got dark. Matthew's family and Jade, they were lucky. They arrived right during the middle of the day, no problem. And then we hear Donna's story, where she and her sister arrived in the middle of the night, which, of course, led to Donna's sister getting killed. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing this ambulance arrive. Is it going to? I have a feeling it's probably just going to arrive at nighttime, and we're going to see characters like Randall and some other characters maybe risk themselves to come out and help, because it does look like Randall is obviously out there in the middle of the street, right behind the ambulance. So could Randall be one of those characters that kind of comes out of the bus to help the ambulance when the ambulance arrives at night? Maybe. But I like it. I can't wait to see this ambulance arrive. I think that's going to be a very fun scene. Very fun scene. Man, I just cannot wait for season 3 to get here. It is so close. I cannot freaking wait. Absolutely. Will you drop videos for each episode on season 3? I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. I will be doing multiple videos on each episode, most likely. I'll probably at least be doing 2 videos per episode. My normal episode review breakdowns, and I also like to do another video like a day or 2 later before the next episode arrives, diving deeper into some of the themes and deeper meanings of the show. So yes, I will definitely be doing weekly videos, probably at least 2 per episode, and we will continue to do our live streams. We'll be doing tons of live streams once season 3 actually airs. We'll be doing some live watch parties. We'll be doing some after shows. We'll be doing some pre-shows, very similar to what we did for House of the Dragon and for what we did for From season 2. We'll probably be doing about the same thing here with From season 3. So yeah, we're going to be doing tons of season 3 content when it actually drops. Absolutely. And I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts and theories once the episode actually does get here. I mean, I know it's only a little over a month away, but man, I just cannot wait for season 3 to get here. Maybe I'm really looking forward to From even more after how House of the Dragon season 2 ended. It ended on a very anticlimactic note. I mean, especially anyone who's been in the Discord, we've been talking about the season 2 finale since it aired, and it just did not feel like a finale. And then we heard a little bit of this other news that HBO might have kind of cut the production off at the knees a month before filming, cutting them down from 10 episodes to 8 episodes, which could potentially be a reason why season 2 feels a little bit incomplete by the time you get to the finale. But I think because season 2 of House of the Dragon was not an outright disappointment, but kind of disappointing as a whole, I was definitely expecting a little bit better of a season overall. So I think is just making me chomp at the bit that much more to get into some phenomenal phenomenal storytelling again. So I'm really, really looking forward to From now. It cannot get here soon enough. Cannot get here soon enough. Up next, we have episode 5, Scar Tissue. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Episode 5, entitled Scar Tissue. Now, again, we don't have any of the episode synopsis to actually explain what some of these episodes are going to be covering, but we do have the titles at least. In episode 5, of course, Scar Tissue. Now, I have a feeling this is going to be the episode where we see in the trailer, where we see that character that a lot of us thought was Julie at first gets scratched and clawed by one of the monsters, and we see that person getting attended to at Colony House. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is when that happens. Episode 5, Scar Tissue, it just seems like it could be that episode where we see literal scar tissue. Because we did get that very interesting scene of that character getting seemingly slashed by one of the monsters, and then we see it on the couch in Colony House as someone is attending to the wound. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that is when this happens. Episode 5, Scar Tissue. But yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. And one thing I am super, super excited about is that we're getting a full 10 episodes. I was a little bit worried if we were going to get 10 episodes or just 8, considering we were coming off the writer's strike. Now, if anyone was kind of deep into TV last time the writer's strike came around, this was around when Heroes was on. A lot of the shows that came back after the writer's strike ended came back to very reduced and shortened seasons. The networks had been out of commission for so long at that point that they just wanted to get shows out and get them out as fast as possible. So they cut a lot of episodes down when those first few shows started to come out after the strike ended. So I was a little bit worried for From season 3, seeing that we were coming off of a writer's strike, seeing as the production of From was going to be way behind the gun in terms of production schedule. I was a little bit worried that we might only get 8 episodes in season 3, but I am so glad that we're getting a full 10. I could not be more pumped, because we've seen what 8 episodes do to a show that is meant to have 10 episodes. It can be catastrophic, as we've seen in House of the Dragon season 2. So I'm super pumped that we're getting a full 10 episodes. I love that. Absolutely love that. Because I gotta say, I was a little bit worried. Scar tissue is a metaphor of Boyd's scar. Yes, after witnessing someone he loves die. Ooh, very interesting. It very well could be. Very well could be. I mean, scar tissue, very well could be. We've seen scar tissue usually refers to a healed up wound. I've got tons of scar tissue all over my freaking body from all the sports I played as a kid. I'm sure most of you guys do as well, anyone who has played sports. So yeah, maybe scar tissue is referring to a past wound. We know Ellis in particular, he gets stabbed in season 2. We know he's going to have a good deal of scar tissue where he got shanked up. Boyd definitely going to have that scar tissue on his hand and all the other wounds he's sustained between getting shot and everything else. We do know that Boyd gets clawed by one of the monsters in season 2 as well. That could be some more scar tissue references. So yeah, that could be it, Robert. Absolutely. Definitely could be that. It definitely could be that. Duncan Egg is going to be so good. I have full faith. Also, I'm excited for Dexter in December. I have nothing but faith in Duncan Egg. Everything that I've been reading about Duncan Egg in terms of the cast and crew that are in charge of that show and the casting, I have nothing but faith in Duncan Egg. I really think that's going to be good. I think Duncan Egg's going to be great for sure. Oh yes, I'm glad to know that we're definitely getting a full 10 episodes, a full 10 episode season. 10 episodes already isn't enough for the show. I never even thought that we could get less. It's a very big relief. I mean, I was a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit worried that we might only get up 8 episodes. Just seeing, knowing how the industry works, and especially seeing how the industry has worked coming off of writer strikes in the past. They usually shorten down shows just so they can get them out a little bit quicker. So many shows will follow formats like that, but I'm so glad that's not the case here with From. Like you said, From needs a full 10 episodes. And yeah, even 10 isn't enough. Give me 12, give me 13 episodes per season. I know we've talked about this again ad nauseum here on the channel, but it seems like over the last 10 years or so, shows have been consistently shorting down episode counts. You look, 10 years ago, there were so many shows that were coming out that had 20, 24 episodes per season. And those seasons came out every single year like clockwork, like Lost and 24 and The Shield and Sons of Anarchy and so many more. But yeah, over the years, we have seen shows get shorter and shorter and shorter. So I'm really glad that they're not cheaping out on From. I'm glad that we're getting the full 10 episodes because it deserves it. I mean, a show like this, a story like this, deserves to be told in its entirety. And if that means 10 episode seasons every season, then by God, give them those 10 episodes because this show deserves it. Absolutely. House of the Dragon season 2 ended too early for me. Absolutely. It's just, again, it was, I'm trying to forget it, to be honest. I'm trying to forget the pain of the House of the Dragon season 2 finale. I had so much hope for that second season, and a lot of it was dashed. But I still have hope for season 3, but From is just on another level, in my opinion. From is just on another tier in terms of quality of storytelling. It's like Sarah left the door open. She's named the killer, even though it was the monsters. Oof. Yes, indeed. Indeed. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of role Sarah is going to play in season 3. I mean, we saw her towards the end of season 2, and she was very kind of unsure of herself. She was very unsure of her place in the town. She was very convinced that nobody liked her, and she was right for the most part. It seems like most of the town kind of looked at Sarah like this kind of weird freak. So yeah, Sarah was definitely one of those characters where it just seems like she didn't really know where she fit in towards the end of season 2. So it's going to be very interesting to see what her story arc is in this third season. How is she going to integrate back into this town? How is she going to make herself useful to the town and kind of prove to the town that she can be trusted? Because at this point, I imagine there's a lot of people in the town that don't trust Sarah. So yeah, she's going to have a lot of goodwill to win back over. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with her character. Indeed. Indeed. I remember when seasons were 26 episodes. Right, Quan? It's like, man, we used to get some long ass seasons, and these shows used to come out every single year like clockwork. You never had a year and a half, 2-year wait in between shows back then. It just seems like production as a whole was just much more efficient and much smoother. So yeah, it's a shame to see some of these really, really great series get reduced to 8, sometimes only 6 episodes. Like Dunk and Egg is only getting 6 episodes, but it's a very, very short story, so I can kind of understand why they're only getting 6. But you look at some of these other shows that have only 6 to 8 episodes, and it's just, man, they come and go in the blink of an eye. And it's just, it sucks, you hope to see a little bit more. And yeah, like you said, like Ando says, 6 episodes it's becoming a thing. It really is. We saw that with some of these spin-offs for The Walking Dead. Daryl season 1 I thought was a phenomenal spinoff. It was a completely brand new, fresh take on a world that had gotten a little bit stale, in my opinion. By the time we got to the end of The Walking Dead, the series, just for me anyway, it had gotten really stale and it had gotten really repetitive. It was kind of just the same thing year after year after year, just with a different villain shoved in. But then the Daryl show comes away, and they shove Daryl on the whole other side of the world. They introduce these whole new kind of walkers that are way more dangerous. It brought such a fresh and unique take into a pretty stale world that was getting a little bit stagnant, in my opinion. But it sucks that it just didn't have a lot of episodes. But I'm really looking forward to Daryl season 2. That's been a great, great spinoff. Great spinoff. I wasn't too hot on the Rick one, personally. I thought the Rick and Michonne spinoff could have been a little bit better. I wasn't a big fan of it, but we'll see if that gets any more. We shall see if that gets any more. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, 6 episodes is a BBC thing, not for America. Yeah, I mean, we want longer form storytelling. At least I do, anyway. I really enjoy longer form storytelling. That's why I've always been so attracted to TV series over movies. Now, I love a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I love cinema. I love going to the theater. I'm really looking forward to Alien Romulus, which is coming out this Friday, which we will be talking about this on our Saturday show this week. We'll definitely be diving into some Alien Romulus stuff. So if anyone is going out to see Alien Romulus, definitely come and hang out this Saturday. We'll be talking a little bit of that and some From season 3. But yeah, I love movies, but something about series, the longer format of storytelling has always just been way more compelling for me. I like getting invested in a story that's going to last a long time. So that's why I've always really been drawn to series over movies, but still like a good movie every once in a while. Still like a good movie every once in a while. All right, let's see what else we got. Up next, we have episode 6, These Fragile Lives. Oof, oof, oof. Now, could this one potentially be referring to Fatima and her pregnancy, I wonder? That's the first thing that kind of popped to mind for me. These fragile lives. We know how fragile newborn babies can be. It's such a dangerous task delivering birth. Going through birth. And even more so in a place like Fromville. Now, yes, Fatima does have Christy, who does have medical experience, so it's not just like she's just kind of out there on her own, but it's still going to be very dangerous. Giving birth is always dangerous, even under the best and sterile of environments. You throw an environment like From into the mix, and especially on top of all of the other weird shit that seems to be going on with Fatima and her pregnancy, in terms of, we see in the season 3 trailer, it looks like she's physically getting weaker and sicker, spitting out blood. Now, it's hard to tell if that's real or if that was a dream sequence. I know that has been up for debate up until this point. I tend to think it's probably a real scene. I don't think that's a dream sequence, although it could be. And then, of course, we have all of the other foreshadowing from Ellis in season 2 as well, in terms of him having all of these thoughts of the baby being born with fangs and claws. Then, of course, we have all of the other weirdness about Fatima being dead set convinced that she was not capable of even getting pregnant. So it seems like this pregnancy, again, it's not going to be a normal pregnancy. I think Fatima is going to be in some real danger in season 3. And I think episode 6 could potentially be referring to maybe her and her pregnancy, these fragile lives, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm loving these titles, though. I am absolutely loving these titles. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Sarah will be Ethan's protector in season 3. Now, I could definitely see that happening in terms of Sarah wanting to kind of make up for some of her past sins. I could definitely see her becoming a kind of protector role for Ethan and the Matthews family as a whole, even, maybe. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm on the Discord. I'd love to chat sometime. See you guys later. That is awesomely fine, kitten. And yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it did remind me. I am going to start hosting weekly discussions in the voice chat in our Discord. So anyone who is not in the Discord yet, hop on in there if you want. And everyone who is in the Discord, I'm thinking it'll either be Friday night or Sunday night. One of those nights, either Friday or Sunday night. Maybe I'll put up a poll in the Discord and let you guys vote on that, which night you would rather prefer it on. But at least one night a week, I am going to be hopping into the Discord, opening up the voice chat, and anybody who wants to pop in there and join me, we will be talking all things from season 3 predictions, basically anything from. Nothing is off the table. Season 1, season 2, season 3, we will be discussing all of it. So I am going to get that started. I'm going to try and do the first one this week. And again, I'll put up a poll in the Discord after the stream ends, and you guys can vote. We'll do it either Friday or Sunday night, where we'll spend, an hour or two just hanging out in the Discord, in the voice chat, just talking from. And all of you guys are more than welcome to come and hang out with us for that. It's, something we did for season 2. Usually after our streams, when season 2 was on, the stream would end here, and then we would kind of continue the conversation in the Discord voice chat. So we'll definitely be doing a little bit more of that. And you guys are more than welcome to do that every single night if you want. You guys don't need permission. Anyone who wants to hop into the voice chat and start hanging out, you guys are always welcome to start your own voice chats. I don't have to be there. You guys have full access to the voice chats. Anybody can get in there and start one. But I am going to host a weekly one in there every week, again, either Friday or Sunday night, probably around the same time that I usually stream, probably around 10 p.m. Eastern. Hop into the Discord, into the voice chat, and we can just geek out on all things From, and share some theories as we wait for season 3 to premiere. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. The Discord voice chats are returning. I must go to bed. Good night, Fromily. Keep up the great theory crafting. Last night Kiwi Skirt kept me up too long, LOL. Well, thank you so much, Robert Saunders, for joining us, my friend. And yes, I'll be actually closing down pretty soon as well. I unfortunately have a very early day at work tomorrow, but yeah, still got to get through the rest of these episodes. Let's see what else we got next. Up next, episode 7, we have Thresholds. Now, when I saw this one, it instantly made me think of when Ethan opened the door to the granny monster, and the granny monster literally crossing the threshold. Whenever you hear threshold, you instantly kind of think of like vampires, because vampires can't cross the threshold unless they're invited in, yada yada. And these monsters have some similar characteristic traits to vampires in terms of only coming out at night, needing to be invited in, yada yada. So when I heard Threshold for an episode title, I thought, okay, could this be the episode where Ethan opens up the door for the granny monster, and we see the granny monster cross the threshold? Maybe, I don't know, but that's just the first thing that kind of popped up in my head. But episode 7 is Thresholds. Thresholds plural, not just threshold. Thresholds plural. And like you said earlier, Julie, maybe this could be another one of those episode titles that has that dual meaning, where it's maybe referring to just more than one thing, not just a threshold, but multiple thresholds, as it is plural. So I cannot wait to see what that one is about. Cannot wait to see what that one is about. And now we don't have the title to episode 10, but we do have the titles to episode 8 and 9. Episode 8, of course, is called Revelations Chapter 1. Episode 9 is called Revelations Chapter 2. And it says episode 10 is called Revelations Chapter 2 as well. Maybe the 10th episode is supposed to be Chapter 3, maybe. Maybe this is just a typo, or this one's just wrong. But obviously, when we see Revelations, I think this instantly kind of brings us up to Father Cautry in season 1. Now, Father Cautry does say to Sarah, when he has Sarah held captive down in the basement of the church, that he thinks that they are currently living the next book of Revelations. He very much was convinced that their story, his story, was going to be the next book in the book of Revelations. So could this potentially be referring to Father Cautry's theory that everything that is happening here in Fromville is the next step in the book of Revelations? I don't know. I mean, I definitely think they're going to be harking back to that in season 3. It does look like Father Cautry is going to be making an appearance in season 3 based off some of the set photos and some of the other information that has been leaked when season 3 was filming. It looks like Father Cautry will definitely be in season 3. I'm putting it at a probably 99% chance that we are going to see Father Cautry in this 3rd season. And hell, he's even on the promotional material for the season 3 promo banner. So it does look like Father Cautry is going to return, and I wonder if his kind of quote-unquote theory about his book of Revelations is going to play some sort of part in his cameo that he is going to play. But I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that too, Gardenia. Honestly, I didn't even remember it until I saw the episode title. I was looking at these, and as soon as I saw Revelation chapter 1 and 2, I thought, holy crap. It instantly kind of reminded me of that Father Cautry theory, because before that, I hadn't even been thinking of this. So yeah, it was the episode title that kind of brought it back in the forefront of my mind. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this is going to play out to. Again, I think Father Cautry has been one of the most compelling characters on the entire series. His death, again, was just a picture-perfect way to kill a character off in a very unsubverted, in a very subversive way, where, I mean, I think a lot of us thought Father Cautry was going to play a pretty big part in the show. He was certainly very much convinced that his path, his story was just starting. And then to see it get cut short like that, and to see that, he knew that he was dying and he's worried about his path, but he never let that kind of kill his faith. So I've always really enjoyed the character of Father Cautry. I think Sean Majumder, the actor who plays Father Cautry, was one of the best actors on the entire series, just in terms of pure acting skill. The guy's great. I'll definitely be following his career very closely going forward. I cannot wait to see what other stuff he pops up in. But yeah, Revelations chapter 1, chapter 2, and maybe this one is supposed to be chapter 3. It does kind of remind me of, again, Father Cautry's theory about them living the next book of Revelations. But very interesting stuff. Yeah, let's have Father Cautry come back to life, says Chris M. Yes! Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Maybe Father Kotri was right about writing the 74th book of Revelations. And again, maybe he was. I definitely get the feeling it'll at least be, referenced back to. Because again, I mean, when you have a title like this called Revelations chapter 1, 2, and chapter 3, potentially, obviously, I have a feeling a lot of the fans are probably going to be thinking of that line that he said in season 1 in terms of, like you said, them writing the next book of Revelations, the 74th book of Revelation. So, yeah, that's the first thing that kind of popped into my mind when I saw this episode title, but cannot wait to see what is going on. These titles look so freaking intriguing. If I wasn't already incredibly hyped for From season 3, I am now 10 times even more hyped. And I can't wait. I just cannot wait for this show to get here. Imagine Tabitha finds Kotri in the real world. Now, that would certainly add a very interesting twist to the series. I mean, if Tabitha does kind of stumble upon Father Kotri in the real world, could that potentially, lean some more evidence into Abby's theory maybe being right? Maybe you do have to die inside Fromville to wake up in the real world. I mean, again, if an alive and well and flesh and breathing Father Kotri is in season 3 and Tabitha does see him in the real world, that does look like it's pointing at some more evidence that maybe Abby's theory was right. Maybe people do need to die in order to escape. I like it. I like it. It's 7 a.m. in Kuwait. How about you guys? Well, I am over here on the east coast of the States, and it has just passed midnight. 12 o'clock, midnight it is here in the States. Revelations chapter 2, part 1, Revelations chapter 2, part 2. Yeah, I don't know what the chapter 2 thing is. I don't know if that's maybe just a misprint or a typo, if maybe this last episode is meant to be chapter 3. Not quite sure, because yeah, we got chapter 1, chapter 2, and then chapter 2 again. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Unless, I believe BK might have mentioned this in the Discord, unless chapter 2 is part 1 and this is part 2. Like maybe these are one big episode separated into 2 parts. We've seen plenty of shows kind of do that in the past, where there'll be a 2-episode arc and it'll just be part 1, part 2 maybe. That's definitely a possibility. But yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Revelations definitely will have a double meaning, in my opinion. It will be a biblical reference and will have some revelations about the nature of this place, like the showrunner said. That's a very, very, very real possibility. Again, it does look like we are going to be getting some answers or some quote-unquote revelations in this 3rd season in terms of learning a little bit more about the true nature of this town and seeing the survivors go on the offensive against the myriad of threats that are surrounding them is kind of what John Griffin described it as. So yes, it very well could have another double meaning where it's referring to Father Kotri's kind of theory, but it's also going to be revealing something big about the town at the same time. So absolutely, Julie, I'm right there with you. Definitely could be a double meaning on this one for sure. For sure. Revelations is hilariously deranged. Sounds like it was written by someone on a bad trip. I've actually never read it myself. I mean, I've glanced. I know a little bit of it, but I'm not super well versed on the Bible myself, so I can't really speak to that personally. But yeah. 74th book of the Bible is Kotri's theory. Yeah, it seems like Father Kotri seemed to think that they were potentially living the 74th book of Revelations. Like the 74th book is Fromville and everything that is happening to them in Fromville. That this place is the next book of Revelations was kind of Father Kotri's theory. And who knows, maybe he was right. Or maybe they'll be referring to that theory and we'll find out that he was wrong. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. Even the time on Jade's watch goes to a Bible verse. Man, you can really choose to see Jesus in the toast in the show. Yeah, man, maybe, very well may be. And we do see, I mean, the writers are definitely very well read in terms of they seem to know a lot about a bunch of different cultures and mythologies and things like that. They're throwing in a ton of Native American references, some Norse references. So the writers of this show are definitely very clever and they are very well read in terms of other mythologies and other civilizations. So I cannot wait to see some of the kind of deeper meanings that they start weaving into this show and in season 3 in particular. And maybe, who knows? Yeah, maybe Revelations will play some sort of part in that. Who knows? I cannot wait, though. I cannot wait. Wow, that would be amazing if it is the 74th book, and this is post World War III, and multiple nuclear explosions caused a rip in time and space into a pocket dimension. Oof, Justin, I like it. I like it. Interesting, very interesting. Almost like Fromville itself is taking place after World War III happens. That's an interesting theory, Justin. That's an interesting one. I don't think I've heard that one before, so I love hearing some new theories. Awesome. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? What is up, Laura Butler? Good to see you. Hey, all, I am late, but I am here. So glad to have you here. Late is always better than never. And of course, you can always watch the replay and catch everything at the beginning. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, here we go, guys. Titles: Episode 1, When We Go. Episode 2, Mousetrap. Episode 3, There and Back Again. Episode 4, The Light of Day. Episode 5, Scar Tissue. Episode 6, These Fragile Lives. Episode 7, Thresholds. Episode 8, Revelations Chapter 1. Episode 9 and 10, Revelations Chapter 2, which could be a Part 1 and a Part 2 for the 2 finale episodes. So there it is, guys. We have the episode titles. And again, I will be doing a video on these episode titles where I dive a little bit deeper into some of the deeper meanings where I think some of these could potentially be going. And again, I'm going to try and get that up on the channel, if not tomorrow, Friday morning, the latest. So definitely be on the lookout for my episode title breakdown video. I'm having a lot of fun just writing down some notes. I haven't really dove deep into it yet, but I'm going to right after the stream. So I'm really looking forward to diving a little bit more into some of these episode titles and kind of hopefully discovering some deeper meanings behind some of these titles, because that's what I love about the show of From. The episode titles usually, not always, but it seems like a lot of these episode titles usually tend to have a direct impact on the narrative of that episode. In terms of whether it's a double meaning, as Julie mentioned, a lot of these episodes do have dual meanings, or sometimes even 3 in some cases. So I love that we got some episode titles revealed. And again, I will be diving deep into all of these episode titles, as I'm sure each and every one of you will be doing as well, both here and on the Discord. Of course, everybody is welcome in the Discord. Come hang out. I swear we have one of the coolest communities in our Fromville Discord, probably the biggest concentration of From Season 3 theories maybe out there ever is right there in that Fromville Discord. And that is thanks to each and every one of you. I had nothing to do with that. That was each and every one of you. You guys have turned that Discord into a From theory bonanza. It's got probably the biggest concentration of From Season 3 theories, or not even just Season 3, Seasons 1, 2, and 3. And again, I have all of you guys to thank for that. You guys have made that Discord so fun and such an awesome place to kind of hang out in there. And it really is very conducive to creative thinking when you see all of these people from all of these different walks of lives getting together to kind of theorize on the same show that we all love. So I can't thank each and every one of you enough for making that Discord what it is. You guys have been so welcoming to new people that show up in the Discord, or new people that show up here in the chat. You guys have been so freaking welcoming, and I just cannot thank each and every one of you enough, because that is the main thing we want to do here. Everybody is welcome, no matter what your background is, no matter what walk of life you come from. Everybody is welcome here to hang out, talk from, or any of the other shows that we dive into here on the channel and in the Discord. So again, can't thank each and every one of you enough for making that such a welcoming place and a really, really awesome place to hang out. Can't thank you enough. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Again, I will definitely be live again this Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will continue to dive into some of these episode titles and all things else from Season 3, along with talking a little bit of Alien Romulus, which premieres this week as well. So if you guys are planning on seeing Alien Romulus, try and see it before Saturday. And if you don't have a chance to get to the theater, I will, if I can, I will throw a link to the full movie in the Discord. So even if you can't make it to the theater to watch Alien Romulus, there should be a copy that you guys can watch digitally right in the Discord. I usually have a pretty good contact for good movies right after they come out that are usually in pretty good quality. So I will try and throw a copy of Alien Romulus into the Discord under the movie suggestion. So keep an eye out for that around Friday or so. And yeah, we will be live again this Saturday, diving into all things from season 3, and of course, talking a little bit about Alien Romulus, which by all accounts seems to be getting some insanely good early reviews so far. I never really trust early reviews too much personally. I like to kind of see for myself, but there are a very select few early reviewers that I do trust, and both of them have been raving about Alien Romulus. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't really seen a movie since Dune Part 2 came out, so I am definitely going to check out Alien Romulus this weekend. And again, we will be talking about it this Saturday night, along with diving more into From Season 3. But again, can't thank each and every one of you enough for all the support you guys have shown us here on the channel. It has been absolutely tremendous, and everything that you guys have done to make this such a welcoming community. I can't thank you enough. And we'll continue. We are going to continue to shout from the rooftops that From Season 3 is just a month away now, September 22nd, exactly 1 week before my birthday, actually, which, again, From Season 3 coming around is the best birthday present I could ask for this year, so I love that. But yeah, be on the lookout, guys. We'll be live again this Saturday, diving into all things From and Alien Romulus, and of course, next Wednesday as well. Every Wednesday and Saturday, right here on the channel, 10 p.m. Eastern, like clockwork. We will always be diving into all things Fromville. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there in this crazy, crazy world we find ourselves living in. Be kind to one another. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks. And I will see you on the next one.